Make many pots to perfect one. This is a principle that I've learned from. There's an article where a teacher had their class divided up into two. One group would make, it was a pottery class, one group would make as many pots as possible, and the other group would make just one perfect pot. And by the end of the semester, the teacher would look at the quality of each group's pots. And what they found is the group that made the one perfect pot wasn't as good as the groups, as like on average, the pots of the group that made as many as possible. On average, those pots became so much radically better, and because of the rapid iteration and, continually learning and refining as you go, from going through the whole creative process of start to finish of making the pot. You don't learn as much about how to change things, to do them differently, unless you allow more iteration to go through your process as an artist or any endeavor in life. The more you do something, the better you get at it. And I've been in the place where I would spend many years perfecting one pot in terms of being a writer or a filmmaker. And what I learned was make a lot of short films. I'm getting out of doing short films now, but what I would do is make as many short films as I could, and I got better at it, and I learned how to do it. And not only that, I would like shoot a lot of projects for people, sometimes for free, or a lot of times for free, just to get my reps in. And there's a lot of you learn a lot, you get better, you don't know how to light a film by perfecting one film. You just don't. And you get there by the instincts and intuitions that come to you after going through like 50 films before or something, And what I'm doing is I'm applying that to this YouTube channel. I have the theory of I'm going to do as many videos as I can. I'm not going to create the perfect YouTube video unless it comes from just having done enough. And I just, I want to ask, what in your life do you think you could apply this to? I'm going to real quick, plug, my name's Thomas Prophet. I will be the Bob Ross of filmmaking. Not only do I want to be one of the best writer-directors in the world, I want to be able to teach everything about how and why I get there. And if you want to help me help other filmmakers like yourself, hit like, comment, and subscribe. And if you want me to help you, leave a comment about something I can help you with. That's the best way to engage with me, is I want to actually make videos about what people are grappling with. And my goal is to make, classic cinema style movies in the modern age for very little amounts of money. We hear about the big directors who win Oscars who are broke. Well, I want to see if we can create an army of auteurs and filmmakers who, they're making low budget movies, but they're able to make a living at it. That's my hope. That's my dream. That's my goal. And if you want to help me do that, you know how to do it. And I'm grateful for your support. I pray for your success. But let's get back into this. This is applied to all aspects of art, or all experiences in life. And I find in martial arts, like I'm starting to realize, in a competitive sense, and martial arts is great for you to find out whether how to be competitive, not just at martial arts, but in life, how to learn and be effective at something in life. Take up a martial art. And what I'm learning is I need to go more. I need to go to more classes if I want to improve. I am so behind where I would have hoped to be. But it's because I'm torn between martial arts and filmmaking. And I find a lot of times I have to just prioritize what I'm doing. It might just be that I'm having a bad writing day and I have a certain routine that I have to employ to get myself back into good writing. And so that gets in the way. And because if I exert my body in a way, like physically, that on a certain day, I'm not going to get as good writing. So there's constant things with that. But I'm learning lately, it's not about, going hard and doing a 3-hour day, once a week. It's about doing several 1-hour sessions a week. you know? Yeah, I'm such a perfectionist in the sense that, you know, when I was getting out of high school, in high school, I made a lot of short films and I got better at it. When I was, even before high school, I was actually pretty good at making short films because I, growing up, made a lot of little animations and put them on YouTube. I didn't really think about it. And by complete accident, I had a YouTube video go viral and have 500,000 views. And it just so happened that I was making the first Lego version of Charlie Bit My Finger at the time. Now, I made a video about this. I ended up deleting that years later in middle school because of bullies, but that's another video. You can find that somewhere. I might link it. I don't know. I'm bad at linking things. But yeah, that came because I just iterated. I did a lot of things. I just got better at it. And, you know, I learned as I went. You know, as I do these videos, I'm, you know, constantly looking at like, all right, what could I do better with it? Do I, you know, have an intro at some point, not at the beginning, but like after I hook people in, do I have an intro? You know, what's the end thing that keeps people watching to the end? You know, what's the middle? I find personally with art that after years of trying to figure out how to outline the perfect script, I did away with outlines. Like as a writer, I got to a point where I loathe outlines. And for these videos, I just go off the cuff because I know outlines screw up my brain. I just like to let my brain go full speed ahead. Now, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But, you know, when you're writing something, you don't always have to shoot that project. You don't have to always shoot that film. But, you know, I find my best work as a writer comes from just showing up and hitting the pavement and letting the characters tell the story. But that came from doing many scripts, failing many times, trying to figure it out and iterating. And, you know, I remember back after high school, and I'm getting back to this, back after high school, I spent 3 years developing and like a year writing or 7 months writing, what would be a 400-page manuscript of what my friend called at the time, this project, which I was working on all the time, talking about all the time. It was Tom's Great American Screenplay. Well, when I read it to people, no one got it. And I realized why, having written many scripts since and made actual films since. You know, I was stuck in a vacuum. I was trying to perfect this one pot so well. And, you know, looking back, I realize I value that process because it made me go deeper into the process of filmmaking, but it made me realize, okay, I need to take a step back and start making short films and close the feedback loop. There's a feedback loop when you make a film. From having the idea to putting it out there and moving on to the next one. And everything that happens in between that, if you can condense that, but still be ambitious with it, just condense it in a way where you're ambitious within the scope of it. So you're not spending years. You're spending months or weeks. And the more you can condense and be still ambitious within that condensed time frame, you can make better work. And the more you go through those 2 points of I'm having an idea for something and I've completed it and I'm moving on to the next one. The more you go through that feedback loop, whether it's making a short film, making a piece of music, making in the point of the clay or the pottery class, a pot, a script, anything, or a YouTube video, the more you go through that feedback loop, those are reps. That's how you improve. It's not about starting many things. Yes, to some degree, that does help, starting many things. But if you start a lot of projects and never finish any of them, you're going into Da Vinci territory. Da Vinci never finished anything. And yes, he was probably the greatest artist or one of the greatest artists. But I think there's a lot to learn that you don't have to be that way. You can finish things, and finishing is an art. And you learn it by doing it. You learn it by, I'm going to start this thing that I know is just ambitious enough to challenge me, but it's not going to destroy me. I'm not going to give up. And the more you get better at finishing those smaller projects, you learn the discipline and what it takes to finish them. And then when you go to work on bigger things, you know, this is going to be more work than I knew. And so I'm going to start with the intentions that create the best outcome for me. And what I've learned, this is where I've developed my 4 rules for filmmaking. I don't make films that are rule number 1, no nihilistic films or films about darkness winning for the sake of being cool. Make films about, the darkest darkness, but show people a light through it that's truthful. I came up with that rule because if you do whatever you make, life imitates the art you make, and it will make your life suck. And so I realized, all right, I need to make movies about things that are very positive or finding the positive in the darkness, and that doesn't have to apply to everyone. But I'm telling you, if you do that, it makes the whole process of making that film much easier. You have more energy. You're less depressed. Life is less depressing. I can tell you that. Like, your subconscious mind, what you feed it, if you tell your subconscious mind, I'm making a movie that glorifies things not working out, your subconscious is going to be focused on that being your reality, whether you like it or not. Your subconscious, you are wiring it to say things don't work out. So you're going to make a film about that? Well, things aren't going to work out on that film. I could tell you that. I've had that happen so many times, and it's infuriating. So I had that rule. No nihilistic films. Rule number 2, no horror films, cheesy remakes, sequels, no remakes, sequels, or cheesy horror films. And that's just me kind of along the same lines of I know what I'm feeding my subconscious, and what I spend a lot of time on obsessing over, that's going to change my life. So I'm going to focus on something that is more beneficial to people and is not a repeat of something else. I don't want to be coming from a place of laziness. Rule number 3, make something that you love and you think makes the world a better place. Now, kind of along the same lines about making the world a better place, not being nihilistic, but make something you love is so important. I've made films that I don't love, and what was the worth of it? What was the, that's so this white hair is from, dude. Make a short film that you love. Don't make a film that somebody else wants you to make. That's going to just take you down the wrong road that you don't want to go. And why would you make art that you don't love? For money? I mean, sure, go for it. But you know what? Like, all the greatest filmmakers who I've respected, collectively, they say once you go that route, you don't come back, or it's hard to come back, And I believe them. I buy them. I think I know Tarkovsky said that. There's some filmmakers who I look up to, or a lot of people look up to, who, yeah, they went that route and they haven't come back, but they don't know it. The thing is, once you go that route, you don't fucking know it. So then rule number 4 for me is, make a film that honors God and gets me closer to him. I want to make movies that gets the aid of God in it, and I don't want to make something that dishonors him. And I definitely want to make a film that gets me closer to him because, like I said, life imitates art. What happened? Because of the subconscious, because what you give your subconscious, it's going to focus on that. So I want to focus on something that gets me closer to God. And I've experienced what it's like to make films that disobey these rules, these 4 rules, because I've made a lot of films, and I've made films that, or a film, or at least one film that did all of these 4 things. And it was the best experience of my life. And that came from iteration, from I have the idea to I finished the idea, I put it out there in the world, now I'm moving on to the next one. I did that a lot, and I made a lot of mistakes. But those many pots that I made, I'm deeply grateful for them, and they moved me forward to be able to write great features that I love, to know how to write those great features that I love. And now That project that after high school, I stopped working on because I was going to burn it because it was just so bad. I don't even need to reread it. Like I did actually a little while ago, but I realized in my memory, based on everything I've learned from making these other pots, I now know how to go back to this old pot, look at the idea that I was going for. I still like that shape, but I'm going to start from scratch on a new pot based on the memory of what I was trying to go for. And I know I'll be more successful because I've gone through this process of iteration. I've gone through the process of having an idea and going to the end point of execution and being ready to work on the next idea so many times. Not just for big things, but like mainly for short films. And, you know, I can extrapolate that onto the big things. And once you make a pot or a film or anything where from the beginning to the end of the process, and it was something that was not too ambitious. It was ambitious within its small scope, so it was manageable. It didn't destroy you. I knew how to successfully and reliably go through that process for that short project to the way that getting out on the other end, I'd be very happy with, I could live with. If it destroyed me, it would be worth trying. Because I was able to do that on a short film called Phantom Friend that is about me honoring and grieving a friend of mine who passed away. It's the best short film I've ever made because I did it the way that I did it, and I've learned what I did. I'm ready to do my feature, and I'm deeply grateful for all the pots that I made along the way, and I'm excited for the feature that's going to produce. But now I got to look at the features where I'm not looking for perfection. I'm going to make mistakes. I'm looking to make many pots. I want to make as many features as I can. And I'm not going to be so precious about it. That's what I need to learn. Don't be so precious about your pots, you know. Learn how to make as many of them as you can, and just trust the process will evolve as you go. And no, I hope that this was helpful for you, and if it was, you know, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know if there's something I can help you with, or that you have a thought about something. Leave a comment below. I'll definitely try to, if it's something useful for me or it's useful, I think it will be useful, I'll make a video about it. And yeah, I appreciate you watching. I'm grateful for your support, and I pray for your success. Have a good one. Later. Bye.